There is a significant difference between being effective and being efficient. While being effective may be defined as doing the right things, being efficient is doing things right. When using features such as Sage's user-friendly yet powerful workflows, escalation rules, and quick notifications, you may rest assured we have you covered. Consider them your own personal assistant, ensuring that you remain informed on important sales, marketing, or customer service affairs within your business. Thank you for joining us on this conference. My name is Ocean Halberg and I'm a product specialist for Sage CRM. During this presentation, I'm going to discuss two powerful tools with you, the quick notifications and the escalation rules. In Sage CRM, the system administrator has the ability to create customized on-screen or email notifications. These notifications may inform users of when certain conditions are either met or changed within the system. In this brief PowerPoint, we'll be taking a look at what the prerequisites are in order to use these features. We will cover some basic information on each type of alert, and then go through a demonstration of these features, some examples, and briefly touch on some customization. Notifications may be achieved by one of two methods, either by creating a quick notification or through the use of escalation rules. Both of these features are easily created and are standard features within Sage CRM. As these features are found on the administration area, administrative rights are required. Running the escalation service is a requirement and would need to be enabled under Control Panel, Administrative Tools, and then Services. Be sure to enable the escalation and the Use Escalation service in the Workflow and Escalation configuration settings, as these are also prerequisites. An important note is that notifications are dependent on Apache Tomcat and the URL rewrite, so ensure both of these are configured and running correctly. Redesigned notifications first appeared in the 7.3 release and allow for a less intrusive yet very effective delivery. Notifications by default appear in the collapsed position on the top right side, showing the notifications icon, along with a red numeral indicating the number of notifications present. These notifications may be viewed in this position and will be easily accessible wherever the user navigates within the user interface. Let's have a look at a few of their attributes. Quick notifications may be used in any of the primary entities and are created on the Notifications tab within the entity. They may also be configured for immediate delivery and therefore appear in real time. The limitation of 5 and/or logical operators when creating a quick notification are by no means an impairment, and very often prove more than sufficient. The logical operators determine what conditions are met and when a notification should be triggered. The SQL where clause is used, however this is performed through the interface, and the added bonus is they do not require SQL experience. Should a user click to expand the notification area, a number of notifications may be seen at once. The default number of visible notifications is 10. However, this may be edited in the Workflow and Escalation configuration settings. These settings affect all users and are not individually configurable. The notifications are also hyperlinked, offering swift access to the record requiring attention. Appointments, task reminders, and update reminders for both opportunities and leads are perfect examples of what may be achieved with quick notifications. As with so many areas within Sage CRM, HTML may be used to customize the notification list. This we'll take a look at during the demo. Let's have a look at escalation rules and their attributes. They may be used both inside and outside the context of a workflow. When used within a workflow, the escalation rule will be applied to the records within the relevant state. Complex SQL trigger clauses may also be used, and when conditions are met, a clause may be either triggered for an on-screen or email notification. The 5 conditional limitations that apply to quick notifications do not apply to escalation rules, and typically what one cannot achieve through the use of quick notifications, you may be able to achieve with escalation rules. With a little customization, it's also possible to use escalation rules on custom entities. An example of this type of notification in the customer service industry may be that a new case has been assigned to a particular user, or perhaps a case may pass the SLA. Let's open CRM and take a look. I will be logging onto CRM as 2 users. On the first tab, I'll be logging in as a system administrator. On the second, a little later, as Susan May, an account manager at our fictitious company, Panoply. Keeping in mind that our system administrator rights are required to create, amend or delete both types of notifications, we'll be going over to the administration area, advanced customization, and workflow escalation configuration. We will then go through some of the fields where we can configure workflow and escalation rule behavior. The first 7 fields allow administrator to enable or disable workflows for a number of primary entities. The notification fields begin with escalation. When we enable escalation, a number of processes occur. All escalation rules, both within and outside of a workflow, as well as the default escalation rules, are activated. The reminder field on the Enter New Task and Enter New Appointment screens are also enabled. Quick notifications, one of our prerequisites, are enabled. Note that even though escalation rules are enabled, you still are required to enable each rule individually. The Notify Interval field. Should you be using CRM escalation service, the default period is 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds. Should you not be using the Sage CRM escalation service, this would be the minimum interval in seconds between the server polling clients for notification reminders or escalation rules. It is important to note that the value configured in the interval on the individual rules always overwrites the value in the notify interval. Notification display count. The number of notifications that will be displayed on screen. Should the user have 40 notifications and 10 is set to display on the screen, the remaining notifications will be displayed in increments of 10 when the user clicks on Close All. In the Escalation Engine Tuned 4, we have 2 options. System Performance, that will process notifications at the polling rate set at the above notify interval, for example, the 5 minutes. When set to immediate delivery, the notification is processed when the entity record is created or amended, and every time that the system polls at the polling rate set at the above notify interval. The notify email field name would be the name that appears on the notification email. Basically, it is the name in the from field of the email. Should the notify email name and notify email address be blank when the escalation service is disabled, the email address of the current user is used. When the escalation service is enabled, the email address in the current user is not applicable, and you must enter a value in notify name and notify email address. In the following 3 fields, the administrator has the ability to choose where the various priority emails are sent. Maximum SLA actions are the number of action fields that are available when configuring SLAs. The default is set to 5. Another prerequisite is the Use Escalation service. When it is set to Yes, Escalation service runs escalation rules when there is no user logged into the system. When set to No, the web server runs the escalation rules, but only when a user is logged in. Now that we've completed the required settings, I'd like to log in as Susan May. As soon as Susan May logs in, the notifications on the top right hand side of the screen will become apparent. We can see that Susan has 4 notifications. If I click on the notifications, I can see the complete list. Susan is then able to snooze or dismiss each notification individually, or dismiss and snooze all of them at the same time. Please keep in mind that dismissing all and snoozing all will only dismiss and snooze those that are visible. The notifications are informing Susan that new companies have been assigned to her for her to manage, and requesting that she contact the primary person at the company to discuss the contract and the SLA document. I'm going to select one of the companies so that we can drill down onto the actual company. Once in the company record, Susan is able to source the primary contact's details, as well as view and print the relevant documentation. Now that we've seen the notifications from a user's perspective, let's log back into the administrator instance and review Susan's notifications themselves, as well as create one. As quick notifications are under the relevant entity, we will navigate to Administration, Customization, and select Company. Customization, and select Company from the primary entity list. You'll notice that the Notifications tab is right on the right-hand side. If I click on the Notifications tab, I will see a list of notifications for this entity. Should we have had more than one company notification, we could have used the filter criteria on the right-hand side to select a specific notification. We also have the new screen notification as well as the new email notify buttons. I'd like to go and create a opportunity notification for Susan May. Perhaps Susan May would like to know when a certain user loses deals in the US East Territory and what the reason for the loss. I'm going to go to Administration, Customization, and select Opportunity. I'll go to the Notifications tab and then select New On-Screen Notification. I will give the notification a name, Deal Lost. Let's just put a capital in there quickly, sorry. Deal Lost. You'll notice that the rule is enabled and we have the AND OR operators. Should we select AND, it means all the conditions need to be met. Should we select OR, at least one of the conditions need to be met. I'm going to select a field from the view, the associated view, and I'm going to say I would like to have the stage field come up, and the condition would be is equal to. The value, I'm going to select deal lost. The next field I'm going to select is territory. And I'm going to select is equal to again, equal to, and this time I'm going to select the US East region. I'm going to select assigned to, upper assigned to, and we're going to select a specific user. I'm going to select is equal to, and I'm going to select John. Let's say John Finch. Perfect. Okay, on the on-screen notification panel, I'm able to select merge fields from the database. I'm going to select Oppo description. I'm going to select Oppo reason for loss. So a little bit down, a little bit further down. Reason for loss, there it is. And I'm going to select company ID. So opportunity company. I'm just going to rearrange these quickly. So I'm going to say a deal lost for a company primary ID, and then I'm going to just hit return and paste the description as well as the reason for the loss. I have the ability to select a specific user. In this case, I'd like to select Susan. However, you can also select other options such as opportunity assigned to, person updated by, and so on. I'm going to select save and save this notification. We should now have two notifications under opportunity, and we will go and have a look at Susan May's notification list. Let's log on to Susan May and see if we have any additional notifications. We now have a total of 9 notifications. There were 5 records created in the past that met the criteria we had set, thus triggering the notifications. Should you not wish to have past records trigger a notification, you may want to consider using the opportunity date created field and the date range within the configuration. When a user receives numerous notifications from numerous entities, they may require certain important notifications to be more visible than others. Customization being one of CRM's many strengths, this type of customization is easily achieved through use of HTML. As this would be customization, we need to require administrative rights and therefore need to be logged in as a system administrator. I'm going to disable the previous notification and we'll create a new one using our own custom code. I will follow the exact same procedure I had earlier until we reach the on-screen notification panel. On the on-screen notification panel, we will insert our custom code. Now that we have completed our custom code notification message, let's go take a look. I'm going to log back in as Susan May, and I'll go to the notifications icon and expand it. One can immediately tell the difference. I now have my text in bold, red, and the font has changed. If I scroll down, I'm able to see the generic message as well as our custom code message. I hope you've enjoyed notifications. We're now going to look at escalation rules. We no longer have to be within a certain entity in order to create this type of notification. I'm now going to navigate to Administration, Advanced Customization, and then Escalation. Escalation rules are used when an action is required after a condition has been met. They share the same function as a quick notification, however they are a bit more complex in nature. Where the user interface creates the where clause in quick notifications, the escalation rules need to be defined by the system administrator. Where the quick notifications are user-based, escalation rules are time-based. As you may see, there are a number of predefined escalation rules. These are used to send notifications to users and require user ID in order to do so. An example is the pipeline update rule, which notifies a sales user every 2 weeks on the value of their pipeline for the current quarter compared to the forecast total for the quarter. Let's go take a look at an existing rule. I'm going to go to the end page and I'm going to select Cases Feedback Follow-up. One of the first things that you will notice is that it needs to be associated with a table or a view. It would also need a name. We have the ability to ensure that this rule can be cloned, and should we wish to use this rule, it would need to be enabled. The type field is predefined and set to escalation rule. Should this rule be available to the end user, we are able to define the image for the rule. The administrator can restrict this rule to a particular team, and the order field defines the position the field would be when progressed through a workflow. The administrator could also define the interval that the rule runs. And finally, where the magic happens, this SQL clause uses the where clause. Unlike the quick notifications, SQL experience is required. In this SQL clause, we have a number of conditions. Essentially, if the case status is closed and the stage is solved and the region is North America and the case issue rating is equal to 0, the below actions associated with the rule will be actioned. We have a SQL statement that will be executed to update certain fields. We also have an email that would be sent. As with quick notification messages, we have the ability to include merge fields into our emails. The email editor is particularly helpful when designing an email. One can include images, attachments, and so on. I'm going to save this rule, and if I scroll down and select New, I'm able to see the options that we may use within escalation rules. We have column change values where we can reset or set certain column values. We have informative actions that show or email messages as well as send SMSs. And then we have follow-up actions that may execute SQL statements or run stored procedures. That concludes escalation rules. Thank you for joining me on this session. I'm confident that you have seen the benefits of using these notification tools and how they may assist you.